You're listening to Radio History, where stories from the past and present are retold to help us better understand the world around us. Today, we'll explore why Russia and Ukraine, two nations that share so much in history and culture, have fallen into the most devastating war in Europe since World War II. In just one night, millions of Ukrainians were forced to leave their homes and became refugees. To understand how such a tragedy unfolded, we need to go back in time. Ukraine was once a vital part of the Soviet Union. When the USSR collapsed in 1991, Ukraine declared independence, yet it remained closely tied to Russia through economics, energy, language, and culture. Russia saw Ukraine not only as a neighbor, but also as strategically crucial land and a place bound up with its own historical identity. Over time, however, many Ukrainians, especially the younger generations, looked westward. They sought closer ties with the European Union and even NATO, the military alliance that once stood against the Soviet Union. This ambition struck at the heart of Russia's deepest security fears. From Moscow's perspective, NATO had already expanded several times eastward after the Cold War. If Ukraine were to join, NATO forces would be stationed right on Russia's border. For the Kremlin, that was a red line. Tensions escalated in 2014 when a pro-Russian government in Kiev was overthrown. Russia reacted quickly by annexing Crimea, a peninsula of huge strategic importance as the base of its Black Sea Fleet. The move shocked the world, widely condemned as a violation of international law. Meanwhile, in eastern Ukraine, particularly the Donbas region, pro-Russian separatists rose up against Kiev's authority. The conflict simmered for years, claiming thousands of lives and setting the stage for a far greater war. On February 24, 2022, the smoldering conflict erupted. Russia launched what it called a special military operation. Major Ukrainian cities came under missile attack. Moscow declared its aims were to protect Russian-speaking populations, to demilitarize Ukraine, and to stop NATO's advance. But most of the world saw it as a full-scale invasion. The plan for a quick victory collapsed, and the war turned into a grinding conflict that left cities in ruins and millions displaced. The war's consequences spread far beyond Ukraine. Energy and food prices surged, disrupting economies worldwide. NATO, far from weakening, became more united than ever. Finland and Sweden, neutral for decades, decided to join the alliance. And Europe faced its largest refugee crisis since World War II. At its core, the war stems from two opposing visions. Russia seeks to preserve its sphere of influence and secure its borders. Ukraine strives to assert its independence and align with Europe. Behind this clash lies a broader struggle between Russia and the West over the future balance of power. Yet beyond the maps and political calculations, war is above all about people. Children forced to study in bomb shelters, mothers who lost their homes, carrying their children across borders at night, families whose ordinary lives were torn apart in an instant. The Russia-Ukraine war reminds us that peace has never been guaranteed. It is fragile and it must be cherished. Each of us can play a small part in preserving it, by learning history, by sharing these stories, and by never taking peace for granted. Thank you for listening to Radio History. If you found this episode meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That's how we can continue bringing you stories from history that matter today.